Hi guys, this is Britt Royce and I'm working on challenge for lesson 2 of Fundamental of Digital Media. And today we're going to be working on making a collage. I've chosen 3 different pictures I have here on my thumb drive. They are all Moto Guzzi related. All these pictures were found on Pinterest, but Piaggio Group or Moto Guzzi does own the rights to these images. I will have links to each of these images in the description once I'm done with my YouTube video. Let's go over here. We have a picture of an Eldorado. Looks like belongs in a coloring book. We have the Moto Guzzi logo. And we have another coloring book looking or diagram looking image of the Moto Guzzi 850 V-twin engine. Okay, so as you can see here, I have no images open within Photoshop, so we'll first go over how to create an image from scratch. We start out File, New, and we choose the image size. I usually stick with pixels, it just makes more sense in my mind. But you can choose inches and all these other ones that different measurements. Pixels is easiest to me. If you know the image size, that's great. If not, let's pick one at random and see what you get. I'm going to start with 1200 by 1200 now, and I'm just going to name this my name. Color mode, you can choose here. I usually leave RGB color. Sometimes it'll default to grayscale, and when you go to choose your color over here, you don't have all the options you need, so I just leave RGB for simplicity. Click OK, and we have our basic image here. If you decide to change that, you can always come back to image, image size, and change it by percent or pixels. Say we decided, hey, I want a rectangle. Change your width, you would have to click the aspect ratio. There we go. Constrain proportions. It will keep it nice and even for you if you're trying to keep a perfect square, or if you already had a rectangle and you want to make it larger or smaller without losing its proportions and making it look funny. You can change that. So if I did 1500, 1200, boom, see it makes it a little more rectangular there. That's not what I want though, so I'm going to use Control Z to go back, or you can do edit and step backward. So we're back to 1200 by 1200. If you wanted to add a picture to this, a simple way is to bring your folder up. I have my thumb drive here, and I can just drag the image right onto the screen, and I can use free transform here by any of these squares, any corners, sides, and I can change the size of the image any way I want. Control Z to get back. I might have went too far. Yep. Okay, let's reshape it. If you hold shift when you're doing that, it won't let you distort the image. It'll keep its proportions. That's what I was going to show you earlier, but if you don't hold shift, again, you can make it as crazy as you want. Alright, to get rid of the picture, once it's on there, you need to snap it first with this check box, which commits your transform. And if you don't like that, you can hit Control T, which will bring back free transform, so you can change the size. Or if you want to get rid of it altogether, select the layer, drag it to the trash can, or you can right click and choose delete layer. I can't on this one because it's got the lock. It's our background. I want to add my motorcycle to the image. I don't want the Eldorado, I just want the motorcycle to be part of my final picture. So to get that, I will need to open it and do some work on it. So to open it as another picture and not within this picture, I'm going to choose File, Open, choose the image, and as you can see, it opened the second tab. Here's my original 1200 by 1200. Here's my other picture. Now to select just a motorcycle out of here, I'm going to need to duplicate the layers. In order to do that, I can drag this, click and drag this down to this little duplicate here, create new layer. I can right click it, duplicate layer, or I can select it and hit Control J. You can see I have duplicate layers here. Now that I have this, I want to select just the motorcycle. Easiest way to do that with a white background, the easiest way would be to just use the selection or crop tool, crop the part I want and drag it into the image. But let's say there might be something back in the background that I don't want. I just want the motorcycle. No color, nothing else, just the motorcycle. Easiest way is to take my magic wand, select the open area. Let me zoom in with Control Plus here. As you can see, it has selected everything with a solid line. So it's basically filled in the blank white space back here and outlined the motorcycle for me here. As you can see, the marching ants. As long as there's not a break in this solid line, it will not go in and manipulate any of this picture. You can see it come here around the tire. So this is exactly what I want. Control minus to get back to the regular view. I'm going to hit my selection tool here, click the background, and hit my delete button. If I hit the little eye here to show, to hide the background, you can see on this layer I have deleted everything except Eldorado and the motorcycle, which is what I want. Now I can take my selection tool here, select just the motorcycle, hit my pointer, and drag the motorcycle. See, that's just it, and drag it to this other tab. I'll let go too soon, sorry. Drag this to my other tab and place it on my picture. Now I have that. I can leave it as is, or if I hit Control T to get to transform, hold down Shift so I don't lose proportion, and I can enlarge it, which is what I wanted to do. I'm going to fill in a little bit down here. Click and drag. I got my snap. Bam, I can snap it right to the edge, right where I want it. Hit my checkbox up here, that commits the transform. Now if I want to change that later, I can always select my layer, hit Control T again, and it brings back my transform tools. But I'm content with this. Now that I have it in there, I'd like to color it. So I'm going to hit Control Plus to zoom in. A little too far. And I'm going to find my bucket fill, which is already selected. Paint bucket tool. And I already have yellow here, which is one of the colors I happen to want. So I'm going to color it like a Lego bike. So I'm going to keep that and make my gas tank, my toolbox, and let's do this part yellow. And then I need red. So come back up to the color tool here, click on the yellow, and I got my slider here. I can choose all these colors. I'm going to go up to red. I want dark red, just like that. Click OK. And now I can go in And select, I want that red. I want some pieces of the frame to be red. Let's go with the red fenders. Okay, now let's do the seat, which I want to be black. I can just click over here for color black I want. Color my seat. As I click in, you can see it just fills in where all the lines are. If there was a break in a line, it would end up filling in everything, which we don't want. Do my tail light. And it's going to be hard on the, I can click. You can see it's hard to see here. I could zoom in and really fill that in. Let's look at that. You can see there's not a whole lot of breaks in here, so I'd have to get really time consuming to fill this in, but you get the idea. Control minus to zoom back out. Let's do the tires, but let's do them a lighter black. So we're going to go over here in the gray area and click until we see the color, see the comparison here. Do slightly lighter for the tires. Okay, that's good enough for now. So now that I have this, control minus again, get back to original size. I would like to add the V-twin engine up here. And I could simply drag that into here and see how it fits, if it matches. But much like this, I just want to select just the motorcycle. So I'm going to open it. Into another tab. And again, I'm going to duplicate that by dragging it down here. Select the top layer, select my magic wand, selection tool, click the background and delete. We'll hide the background so you can see. And then I will, as you can see, I just have the engine here. Drag it over into my picture. It's a little bigger than I want, so I will hit Control T for my free transform. Get it right where I want it and commit. As you can see, I got another layer here. It just says background copy. I want to rename that. So double click on the name here. I'm going to call this V-twin. And then I will call this Eldorado, as that is an Eldorado motorcycle. Next I want to add the Moto Guzzi from the other picture up to the top. I could simply use the text tool and type Moto Guzzi in the same format, but for simplicity's sake we will follow suit, open the logo, and duplicate our layer. Magic wand, delete our background. You can see in the picture here it shows that I've deleted the background section of this layer. And get my selection tool and just get the Moto Guzzi. Drag that into my image. Control T for free transform. I'm going to hold shift as I want to keep proportions. Sorry. And apply. Now, for the last edit here, I would like to get that eagle from here, this eagle, and try to place it on this tank and see what it looks like, because I think that Moto Guzzi eagle on the side of the tank would look really cool there. So I'm going to come back to here just by changing tabs, hit my selection tool again. I'm going to grab that eagle. Let's see if I can grab. There we go. Drag it over to this image. And it's not showing up. Try this again. Turn the background off. Let's grab all of it. Still no eagle. Alright, I'm going to delete these layers. And sorry, deleted my step backward. Did not want to delete that. That one's applied. Let me try this eagle one more time. Sorry about this. Boom. P-twin, Eldorado background. Okay. Alright. Let's see what's happening. Okay, as we're done with this part, I am going to close these out. Don't need them anymore, as I've gotten what I want, other than my eagle. So I'm going to open that image one more time, the logo. Choose my magic wand. Oh, sorry. Create a duplicate. Choose my magic wand. Select. I did not get my duplicate layer. Magic wand. Select. Delete. Did not work. Sorry guys. Duplicate. Getting ahead of myself. Magic wand. Select. Hit the delete key. Okay, as you can see in this one, the background's deleted. Selection tool. And grab just the eagle. Drag it. I thought it would be really neat to get the eagle in there, but it is not working the way I want it to. Ah, there we go. I had to move back to the pointer. That's a new one for me. I forgot to click on the pointer tool here when I jog it over, so I was probably dragging nothing over. So now that I have the eagle in there, as we can see, it's too big. So we will hit Control T for free transform. Hold down Shift to maintain. And get it to like there. Oh, sorry. And place it on our Moto Guzzi and commit. Now, it's important that your layers are stacked properly, as if I had to put the eagle on here last, if I come over here and move it below, there's a chance it could disappear. Below my Eldorado. Boom. There we go. So now the Eldorado layer is sitting on top of the eagle layer, which I do not want. So put it back up top so we know what these are. Double click the name, Eagle, like this, title, and we have our Moto Guzzi collage here. If I wanted to change, okay, if I wanted to change the background, not sure if I can do that. Nope. It's my color selection tool. Sorry. Change that back to nothing. Okay, I could use my bucket fill if I wanted to change the background to, say, green. As boom. I get my, as it fills in the lines, it didn't fill in that. I'd have to edit the image before I drag it over to get those filled, I believe. Or can I? Just had to select that layer. Okay, and another thing I could do, if I wanted to add a border or change the canvas size, or add a border to one side, not the other, you can use the canvas size tool here. Sorry, so you hit image, canvas size, and as I said before, I like pixels, they make more sense to me. I know that I have a 1200 by 1200 pad here, but let's say I wanted to extend it over here. This is looking dead on the picture and its dots telling me that I have it centered. So if I change these in or out, smaller or larger, it's going to proportionally change the whole picture every side. If I click here, it's telling me I will add to the top, right, and bottom side. Recentered. As you can see, you can manipulate it any way you want. Let's say I want to extend to the side. Let's see what this does here. Let's say I go to 1250. And if I wanted to keep it the same, I could see if I hit relative before. So 50. You can see this extended top, bottom, and right. Control Z takes me a step back. I go image, canvas size. Let's uncheck relative. And let's say I'm going to extend it all. I want the background to be red. Pixels, I'm centered. Don't want a large red background. Click OK. Now I have a red border. I could also choose the green and just expand it as the green border, but it's a nice way to add a simple border to the picture. Again, Control Z will take you back. And let's say I want to chrome out the headlight on the Eldorado. I can hit my bucket fill, try to fill that. Didn't work because I was on the title border, so it filled everything around the title. Control Z gets me back. Click on Eldorado. Just choose a chrome color. That's good enough. Let's chrome out my headlight. Boom, boom. Little chrome for the taillight frame. Okay. There you have it. So we have went over creating a new image, how to add images to the canvas by drag and drop, how to add them by File and Open. We went over the free transform tool. If you click on a select tool here, if you click on VTwin for this image, select the image, Control T, gives me my free transform tool back, so I can manipulate it if I want to change the size. We went over the magic wand to outline images and move them from another file as such. We went over how to duplicate layers by right-clicking, using the duplicate icon here by dragging them there, and Control J to duplicate them. I went over the image mode in original. If let's see here. Trying to remember. Change into RGB. And then we went over that on the file on the new image. If you did File, New, you had the color mode here. It is up in here. But I am failing to remember exactly where. Image mode. Choose grayscale, RGB. Sometimes when you come over to select your colors over here, it will be very limited options, black and white, because you are in grayscale. If you are in the middle of a drawing, you can change the mode to RGB to get your selection, and that is done by image mode and putting a checkbox next to the proper one. Okay, we went over moving layers to another tab. That was where I did a selection here from the eagle, drag and drop to this tab, and I briefly showed where we could add text. If I wanted to type something in here.
Strike with you?
Yes.
How'd you pull up short throw?
And type that in. Change the font, that's very small. Change it to 72 and start typing. But you could add the text that way. I chose to cut the text from another image for my Moto Guzzi title up top. And we went over editing the canvas size, changing the background to create a border. And that is it for me. We were going to take this and save it. I want to save it as a JPEG and File, Save As. I'm going to keep this on my removable disk. For class, I'm saving it as the Photoshop format initially. And then I will save it again as a JPEG. And I'm just going to choose the defaults here and close out this image as I no longer need it. I've got what I want. If I close this out, it won't ask. If I didn't save it, it would give me a "Hey, are you sure?" Just to show, if I do File, Open, and choose the JPEG, there's my picture. That is my lesson for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much.